Aloha Kako guys, and welcome back to Just and True. I'm just going to be doing a very brief update on the military movement and the situation that's going on here at home as far as the training and the transport of vehicles, event preparedness, etc. So obviously we have Los Angeles with the Blackhawks, the P-8 transponder surveillance high altitude airship. We have the island off of the coast of Los Angeles where these booms could have originated from. We're having reports now of large amounts of cargo being sent from Colorado, Arizona area westward towards California. The cargo includes light personnel carriers, what looks like almost due weaponry, and also transponders, transceivers, transformers rather, small transformers to expand the stretch of electricity, obviously. And then down south, we see the same amount of light armored personnel carrier or personnel vehicles being moved. It's been steady for the last couple of months. We see that movement still happening, and it's still going on down there. But then again, there are plants down there and processing plants that do actually paint and build these vehicles, so that could just be happenstance. Although on the East Coast, we are seeing massive military drills also on Cape Cod. Not really military drills as much as activity. I've been getting huge reports on Black Hawk helicopter activity over there, as well as high altitude, surveillance, DARPA island testing, as well as the New York transformers that have been going off. We have the bomb tests and the bombs testing and event testing that's going on throughout Florida, and also throughout Louisiana and all these areas. So we're having, and then we had the short rapid deployments that happened in November 2018, which are still happening till today. Let's not forget about that. So there's definitely something going on right now as far as the military movement here at home. If we do keep an eye on that, I think it's extremely important. Venezuela is still experiencing somewhat of an activity. Who knows if this is to do with what's happening to the south of our border, or if it has something to do with the increasingly large threat growing from both the Atlantic and from the Pacific. Or the Russian threat. It seems to me to be a little bit more of an internal threat. It seems like there is something at play. There's no struggle here at home. There's no domestics going on here at home. But we are testing for domestic events. We have the DARPA training testing. We have the DHS releasing, Department of Homeland Security releasing their statement on the EMP. We have the increased rapid deployment and short-term deployment, 72-hour deployments going on. 11 Bravo with the Army down south. We have large amounts of light personnel carrier vehicles and transformers being reported being moved from Central America to the west. We have live training happening with troops on the ground, boots on the ground in urban cities, and obviously LA, as well as the P-8 high-altitude surveillance and what's happening on the island right now, San Nicolas Island, which is a operation island for surface to air, surface to sea, and surface to surface missiles and other ordnances. And then we have events being staged all over the United States with emergency personnel for emergency events and disaster relief. And then we also have some cities and counties doing bomb threats and bomb scares and bomb training events. So it definitely seems like there's a lot of civil training going on, there's a lot of domestic training going on, and yet we do not have a large domestic threat. The threats that we have are all abroad. It makes me wonder what the motivation for this is, what the actual purpose of these all these different training and testing is for. I know a lot of people are questioning whether it's testing or training or not. Could they actually be moving right now? Could they actually be staging events? Could they actually be taking people? What's happening? I personally don't think that that's the case as of yet. I think that they're truly doing training purposes because it's happening on a nationwide level and they're moving so much equipment around. I think that they are covering up the obvious. Boots on the ground in Los Angeles or in any urban city. I think that anything that's obvious is being just smoke and mirrors, but the San Nicolas Island, what's happening with the high altitude surveillance and the high altitude support systems and other equipment being moved, that's what's actually happening, what we should pay attention to when they land troops in the ground or in the middle of an urban city. That might just be to cover the act of what they're doing. And then so with all the other additional civil testing that's been happening for the last year, and now it's happening right now as we speak, it definitely seems like something is being trained for. It seems like we have branches of the military, branches of our state and federal emergency personnels being trained for a domestic event of some sort. Now, I'm not trying to promote any kind of fear porn or anything like that, but I'm just reporting on what's actually happening, unfortunately. So even though it seems like our largest threats right now are abroad, our government, our military, and our state representatives and state governments are also training for a domestic event. So it's kind of curious. Definitely keep your head on a swivel. And if you hear of anything, let me know. Mahalo.